Hello, hi, good morning everybody. So this is my pregnancy diary, or should I say my post-pregnancy diary. I'm 6 weeks post giving birth. Can you believe it? 6 weeks already. But I just wanted to quickly come in here and just catch up with everybody. I've been reading some stuff on the news and it's just unbelievable. So here in the UK, apparently, they are beginning to suspend or stop giving out gas and air in the labour wards. Not every labour wards, but just a few, due to health concerns for the midwife. No gas and air, so I had to just give you my take on it. This is absolutely unbelievable. I say it's more absolutely unbelievable for women about to give birth. Are you kidding me? All of my children I've had them with gas and air, and if it wasn't for gas and air, God knows how my deliveries would have gone. Because of gas and air as well, I've been able to avoid having cesareans, epidurals, or any form of interventions. Obviously, if an intervention or medical need is needed, like an emergency cesarean, or if they do need to give you an epidural because it's just taking so long and you're tired, then fair enough. But ideally, then naturally you can give birth to your baby, the better, and the better mostly for the recovery time. If you give birth naturally, you can recover or begin to feel a bit more like yourself within 7 to 10 days. It doesn't mean you're completely healed, but it would mean that you are able to do a few more activities, or the healing process, you can feel it and benefit from it earlier, ideally, if everything is done naturally and there's no complication. And I think for a lot of people, I speak for myself, I feel like I can speak for a lot of other people, gas and air gives you that, so it's just concerning. I'm even quite lucky because I gave birth, like I said, I'm 6 weeks post-pregnancy. I gave birth in January, and that was going on during January. I didn't even know about it. It's been happening in a few hospitals in the UK. I don't know where everybody is in other parts of the world, but in the UK this is happening. It's been suspended, and in some cases it's been absolutely stopped. In a few hospitals. It's happening in Essex, in the Alexandra Hospital. It's been partially suspended in Ipswich, and it's also been happening in Belston as well, all within the UK. I think there's been lots of reports in the Daily Mail and other news articles, and I think what it was, we're in some maternity units where women predominantly use gas and air. They're finding that there's been a high level of toxin gases that has been released into the atmosphere of those wards. And for midwives that work in those, those units, they are exposed to a lot of those gases, and it's quite detrimental to their health. So they're ending up having fertility issues, just different medical issues, because they're in an environment where they are constantly breathing in those toxic airs, which is understandable. So I get it. But then one of my takes is like, we come to hospitals, we come to midwives in order to get help for us to deliver our babies. So it's just a little bit concerning now that they can no longer give us the help that we need, or this is something that is going to be proposed, or something that is, they're still debating on. Our help, or the help that we need, can no longer be given to us the way it should be given to us, in a healthy way for them. And obviously their lives, all lives are important, all medical issues are important, but they need to find a better way around it, because if it does come to a point where they are permanently suspending gas and air for women in labour, it's excruciating. It's going to mean that there's going to be more C-sections, there's going to be more epidurals, there's going to be more medical interventions, which can lead to death, which can lead to trauma for the child, I think even more trauma for the woman, and delivery time will be longer, recovery time will be a lot more longer, and it puts you through more unnecessary strain as it is. Carrying a child for 40 weeks, sometimes potentially 42 weeks, is a lot. Even carrying a pregnancy to full term is a lot. And now to think now, I'm going to have to give birth with complete pain and agony, unless I opt to be cut or have an epidural, which could, an epidural is for good. It releases the pain if your labour is long, but the effects if things go wrong is enormous. You can be paralysed from waist down, you may not feel your legs for a while, lots of people suffer from back pains, so there's a lot to consider. I mean, myself, I prefer natural birth, natural delivery. That is always going to be the best. It may potentially be harder, yeah, pushing out a baby is not easy, it can take anything from 1 hour, 2 hours to maybe 10 hours or more. So it's very unpredictable. But if you know you're going in for a cesarean, or if you're having an epidural, at least you kind of can control how things will happen to a certain extent. Recovery time may not be easy, but you can kind of control how things are going to happen. When you do it naturally, it's hit or miss. You can go in thinking you're going to push your baby out. There could be complications, or there could be something that happens, and it might be a case, okay, you need emergency C-section, or the heart rate is coming down of the child. So different medical things can occur during the pregnancy where you may need something else. Whew. There's a lot going on. I mean, I'm in the UK. I don't know where you are in different parts of the world. Let me know what is going on. I'm absolutely shocked. I think they need to find a better way where they can both help the women that are going into the labour and the midwives. Obviously, you know, giving birth is a beautiful and wonderful thing, and most of these cannot be done without the help of the midwives. So obviously their lives need to be considered as well. But to completely suspend giving gas and air or outright stop it in some, you know, labour units is not the way. They need to find another way where both parties can be helped and both benefit from each other being there. You know, without women going into labour, midwives wouldn't have a job. But without midwives being there, it could be excruciating, painful, or have a lack of resources, or, you know, I see midwives a bit like gas and air. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a comforter, a bit of an assurance that you're going to have help during this pregnancy or during this labour. Labour is a lot. It is hard. You're in so much pain. You need to know that you're with someone that knows what they're doing, who's got you, just in case you become in a situation where you cannot talk or take care of yourself. It's kind of like having your partner there, or having a friend there. It's a form of a comfort, basically, because anything and everything can happen in a labour. So obviously we appreciate the midwives and the work that they're doing, but they've definitely got to find a way. Is it going to be a case where maybe for some part of the labour, the midwives are out of the room and then they speak to you through, you know, speakerphone if things escalate? Is it going to be a case where they have to have certain mask on, breathing mask on, so they don't breathe in the air? They definitely have to think of a way. But I think if they do go ahead with this law to suspend or outright cut off gas and airs in maternity units, I think it's going to be very detrimental to the women giving birth, and it may cause more negative side effects. Women are going to be less likely to want to have babies or give birth. Women that do give birth are going to go through a lot more pain and be traumatized a lot longer, and yeah, there will be a lot more need for greater interventions, which can be problematic when it comes to healing. Obviously, if emergency is needed, emergency C-section or epidural or forceps are needed, depending on how your delivery is going, by all means and all rights, definitely use it, because if that's what is needed for you and the baby to be safe, that's the most important thing. But once again, I'm team natural. Ladies, if you can do it naturally, please do it naturally. You will be thanking God and, you know, just so happy afterwards when you are beginning to recover or see the signs of recoveries within a week to 2 weeks of giving birth. Obviously, it does take you time to recover. I'm 6 weeks post-pregnancy. I'm still recovering now. I can go out, I can go to the shops, I can drive my car, but I'm still recovering. It takes, what, 9 months, 40 weeks to, you know, for a baby to grow and develop in you, for you to give birth. So for you to heal and to go back to your normal state, it's equally going to take that much more time, that much time or even longer. So yeah, this is my take on it. This is happening in the UK. It's only been a few hospitals. If there's more, I'll keep you updated. And another thing that I found quite surprising, most people are not knowing beforehand, because I didn't know about this. I think my local hospital is Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Woolwich, and I think they are one of the hospitals where the you know, the toxic airs from the gas and airs have been recorded to be quite high. So I think they were partially suspended, or they were going to be. But what has been alarming, most of the women, as they are going to the labour wards, they're not being told, oh, by the way, you may not have gas and air. It's once they are there and about to give birth, or